Good evening to all our viewers around the world. This is TICKBOX ONE on NCBN Television, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another episode, and we're talking boxing this evening again. I have some distinguished gentlemen, Olympians in fact, and we're going to have a wonderful session this evening, I'm sure. We're going to have some fun. These are young boxers who have been to the Olympics, and they have recently come from the qualifiers. Maybe not as successful as they were going to Tokyo, but at least we're here to hear of their experiences and their plight for an Olympic spot. Before I introduce my guests, just one little note. It's a Caribbean note more than anything else. Although we have persons from around the world listening, I'm sure they will be interested also. But what I want to just have just a few words on is the performance of the West Indies cricket team last night. Oh gosh, I thought no effort whatsoever. I think probably our boxers gave a better effort than the West Indies cricket team did last night. Singles that turned into two, nuns that turned into one. It was incredible. And when you see the other cricket teams like Australia and India and even the USA throwing themselves at balls, we look as though we get paid and we're just there for the fun of it. So just that short comment, I think we can do a lot better than that as a cricketing nation. Let me introduce my guests this evening, and they're all royalty. They're all Olympians, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing on your resume, and I'm sure they are proud of it as we are proud of them. My first guest comes from my homeland, an Olympian in his first go-around, believe it or not. He hadn't started boxing quite that long, and he entered the fray and won a spot for the Olympics, Mr. Nigel Paul. Nigel, wonderful having you here this morning. One of the accolades that I must mention is the fact that you're the only Caribbean boxer to win a world championship medal. And that still stands until we have someone else. You're the king of the hill. My second guest comes from the land of many rivers, Guyana, Keevin Allicocck. And to me, this is perhaps one of our most talented boxers in the Caribbean. Keevin, you need to put on your video now so we can all see you. One of the most talented boxers the Caribbean has seen. You can mute, but at the same time, we need to see you on video.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Beckles. It's a pleasure to be here.
A pleasure indeed, man. And to have someone from the land of many waters. Every time I visit Guyana, that's what I hear when I go to the boxing. The land of many rivers or many waters. So wonderful having you here, Kevin. And we also have all the way from England this evening. One of my favorite boxers. I think he is perhaps the best defensive boxer we have representing the Caribbean. Mr. ALSTON Ryan out of Antigua. I think he's trained by former two-time world champion Maurice Hope, a good friend of mine, and one of the most wonderful gentlemen you will ever meet. But we're going to meet his protege this evening, Mr. ALSTON Ryan, Mr. Defense himself. He loses, but he doesn't get hit. And that's one of the wonderful things about his boxing. ALSTON, we need you on video so everybody can see you. He represents Antigua and Barbuda. And a wonderful, wonderful, well-mannered young man. And ALSTON, wonderful to have you on the program.
Yes, Mr. Beckles, thank you for having me. Really appreciate being here. Thank you for having me.
Great. So I want to start off with the gentleman next to me here in studio. That's Nigel. And of course, I'll ask all of you perhaps the same question, Nigel, but for me, I would like to know. I went to the Olympics, but not as an athlete. I went as an official. I went as a referee. In fact, similar to you, I didn't start refereeing long before I made an Olympic team. What has the experience been, or what was that experience going to the Olympics? I went and I enjoyed it a whole lot. I'm telling you, it's the best experience I've ever had in my life. So let me hear what your experience have been.
First of all, I want to say thanks for having me. I really appreciate the invite. I think what you're doing here is commendable, and I must say congrats on the program. My Olympic experience coming into boxing, not having been competing that long, and being kind of tossed into the cream of the crop, the mecca of sport. From my recollection, everything was just big. All the crowd was huge, the screens were big, the whole euphoria, everything was just times 10. And for a young athlete going into that kind of atmosphere, it's kind of intimidating, I would say, for lack of a better word right now. But the experience on a whole, seeing the top athletes from around the world, people that you usually see on TV or on YouTube or on commercials, I mean, rubbing shoulders with these people was a tremendous experience. It was very humbling to be a part of that, seeing, the whole crowd and the fans and everybody screaming the name, our autograph and pictures with you. It was a total mind-blowing experience for me coming into the sport, being that relatively new to the sport, and having that experience. It was something, it was life-changing, I would say.
Well, I do hope that people in Trinidad, you give them a chance to get an autograph from you and so on, because you're giving people autographs at the Olympics, and Trinidad or Caribbean people ain't getting a chance at that autograph. You know what I mean? I have seen you in action. You even visited my workplace. That's the police officers and so on, and they were fanatical, running to get photos and autographs and all this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that this is a small version of what happened
definitely
at the Olympics.
Especially for the fans, as long as they find out that you're an athlete, they don't care what discipline or where you're from, they just want a photo. They wanted to come meet my mother, come meet my brother, somebody else. I'll be like, okay, all right, no problem. So I mean, it's just a tremendous experience, I would say, overall.
Well, it was for me. I didn't sign any autographs, by the way. I took some photos with people who probably thought I was an athlete, because I was young then. So probably they thought I was an athlete. So they asked for photos. But I'm guessing that they found out later on that I was just a referee. Keevin, what was the experience like for you? I mean, you're much younger than Nigel, and you're prodigy in Guyana. I've been to Guyana and I've seen your following, and I'm wondering if you were like one of these big guys in the US and so on, the champions in the US. You have a real following in Guyana, man. Everybody come out with champagne and all kind of stuff.
I do.
Yeah, so what was it like at the Olympics?
I must say thanks to God, because it was a dream come true. This is something that I always dream about. The Olympic Games. Well, this is what I'm sharing with you. I always dream about going to the Olympic Games, and when that moment came, when I get announced that, hey, you're going to the Olympic Games, being there, it was the moment that I capture is when I was walking into the opening ceremony, and the lights and all the what do you call it, fireworks went off, and I said, hey, I'm here. That's when it struck me. I had two moments. I had one when I went back to where God brought me from, a kid with nothing, and now I'm on the biggest stage of the world. So I got emotional. I got emotional in that moment, and for me, being at the Olympic Games was a dream come true. The people, the volunteer, the support from other teammates, and seeing the Caribbean countries also was there. Some of the guy was there too. Nigel Paul was there. I think Prince was there, and I got to brace shoulders with some of the best in the world. You know, because that's the only type of athlete would attend to the Olympic Games. You know, the best in the world. So for me to be there was a dream come true. You know, I'm always going to be grateful for that, and I'm hoping the God give me a next experience like that. You know, I get to share it with the fans, all the videos that I made, the people back home, the fan base at home. You know, the support that I got, the love that we shared. You know, I can't explain how much it was. You know, the experience that I got, I can't explain it, but it's amazing, and I'm praying to God that I experience that again.
Well, you're young and you're a hero in Guyana, not just for being to the Olympics, but I suppose that plays a big part because you're an Olympian for life. So that will always be there on your resume that Keevin Allicocck is an Olympian. And I am sure that it will take you a long way. Let me move on now to ALSTON. ALSTON, you may not have been to the Olympics. You have been close and so on. But you have fought on some of the biggest stages because you are based in England. And you have one of the better coaches in perhaps the world. You have a 2-time world champion in your corner every time you go to box, probably. What has it been like for you boxing in Europe more than anything else?
Hey, Mr. Beckles, thank you for your question. Just to correct you, yes, I was in Tokyo Olympic 2020. I was there. The experience was very good to me, very joyful. Yes, I did see Allicocks and Prince and all of the Nigel. It's a good experience. The competition, the whole atmosphere was just amazing. The fans, there was not many because it was a COVID Olympics, but everything otherwise was just amazing. And yes, boxing in Europe. The thing about boxing in England is a bit more competition, a bit more variety of different sparring because it's a bigger country in terms of boxing wise. You know, there's so many other, like it's sparring, like in Antigua or the Caribbean, you maybe have 1 or 2 sparring partners. But here in London, to me, I like to have a vast amount of sparring partners, so that's the best thing I can get out of it, and different tournaments and championships. So yes, I think that's an added benefit.
You all realize that ALSTON switched between English and Antiguan there one time for us. That you could tell where the roots coming from, definitely. He switched between his English accent there and came back to the Antiguan thing and so on. Well done, and probably if we give you a chance, you might switch to a little piece of what you learned in Tokyo, the little Japanese and so on. But nice switching in between there. Allicocck didn't give us no Guyanese thing this morning. He gave us straight English, you know. So it was wonderful. I like that because everybody gets to hear both part of your culture. Just remembering that we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are worldwide. So everybody is getting to see a part of your culture. We're getting hits from as far as Asia, Europe, Oceania, places that you guys have competed against. So they're seeing you here, it's part of your culture, and so on. Remember, we are on NCBN television, and this is TICKBOX ONE. Nigel, to you. You went to 2 of the qualifiers. In short, because we have about 4 minutes before our first break, what was your experience at these 2 qualifiers?
I don't know if I can really answer in short. So for me, coming off of the World Championship success I had, after that, my physical stint, I would say, took a bit of a blow. I picked up a couple injuries, and it was kind of hard coming back from it. So since then, I've been kind of riddled with injury after injury, one thing leading to the next. So most of the time, when I attend the games, it's basically me fighting back, coming back from my injury. First was my shoulder, then was my lower back. I had some Achilles tendon problem, and was just one thing after the next. So I know in the recent games, a lot of the Caribbean even was looking at me to do something big, and I was kind of quote unquote fighting my own demons in terms of my health and being 100% ready. So not making any excuse, because I know the public doesn't care about excuses.
But they don't take it.
They don't take excuses from athletes, especially elite or high-performing athletes. But again, not making an excuse, really have to pay attention to the overall well-being of the athlete in terms of where they stand physically. And at the last couple of games, it was just basically me trying to fight back and get back to that place, performing at a high level and being 100% ready. So at the qualifiers, I qualified for the Pan Am game, and then I lost my first fight there again, dealing with whatever, and I actually stayed home to complete rehab. I didn't go to the training camp before the last world qualifiers, so I was still dealing with a lot of things. So basically, it's just me trying to be 100% ready for the upcoming events. I have my eyes set on World Championship. I have ample time to go through the full rehab process and be ready for them.
Okay, that's good. We're going to break now, and I'll ask probably the same question to Allicock and Ryan when we come back. Remember, you're on NCBN television, we are on YouTube. On YouTube, subscribe and like. See you guys after the break.
I am Nigel Coutier.
Hi, I'm Jemima Joseph.
And I'm Jovan Paul.
We are coming to a community near you. We're going to speak community talk. We want to hear your issues, your concerns, or what will improve your community.
Look out for us. We'll be coming soon, Nigel and myself, to your community to hear in whatever way we can do to improve your environment, be it employment, infrastructure, anything to improve your living as well as our home.
Catch us on NCBNTT television for Community Talk.
Change our TV to the sound wave, they can't be cool.
I'm Steve David, and I'm your host. Today I talk football as usual, and I have with me Linda Bramble, welcome to the set, Michael Ragunac, welcome to the set. Instead, George Jefferson, George Anthony Clark, welcome to the set. That's Dwight DeLeon. The president of the SSFL, Mariri Gonzalez. Mariri, welcome to the set. Leroy DeLeon, welcome to the set, Leroy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in every Tuesday night, and NCBNTT, thanks for the opportunity.
Welcome back, viewers, to TICKBOX ONE on NCBN television. We're on YouTube, and Facebook. Remember to subscribe. We're back, and we are back talking boxing again with our Olympians. Nigel Paul of Trinidad and Tobago, Guyanese Keevin Allicocck, and ALSTON Ryan, or Antiguan and Barbudan, domiciled in England. And he speaks both languages, believe it or not. So wonderful to have you guys back. I'm going to ask you guys the same question that I asked Nigel a while ago before the break. Keevin, I'll go to you first. You had a chance at Pan Am, and you had a chance at the qualifiers. I saw you at the last one in Thailand, especially. What was the experience like in those two qualifiers? And what was the atmosphere like in comparison to both?
It was great, I had the support of the crowd, and I faced some great fighters. My first fight I won. Went on to the second at Pan Am Games. I faced the guy from USA. It's a pretty good fighter, I learned a lot from that trials, and I went back home to the drawing board, and happened so that we fly out for camp in Ecuador for Thailand, the last Olympic trials that I attend. And I applied, I tried to work on some of my mistake, because what I learned from there, you often look at what the fighter did and not looking at what you allow the fight to do to you. So I went back home with that mindset, and I think it helped me to move forward a bit. I fought the first fight in Thailand, went on to the second one. I didn't stick to the plan. I think that was the problem. But nonetheless, I'm grateful with my performance. I know that I don't think, but I know that I could have done better. But yeah, I'm back home here, and I'm working hard and hoping that, we get through with that card, and so we get that out there. I'm here working on some of my mistakes and the things that I allowed to happen to me. So it was a great show for me, both times.
ALSTON, what about you? What was your experience like, especially the bout in Thailand? What was the experience like?
Mr. Beckles, is you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Talking to Ryan.
Okay.
What was the experience like, ALSTON, in Thailand?
The last qualification in Thailand, my experience, I would say, it's a good experience. It's always good to go to the entire country, first and foremost. But to me, I think I'm way better than the performance that you see out in Thailand. Because hearing Nigel speak about his story about how many injuries and back-to-back, I felt that so much, because that's similarly that cause you to be inactive and can't get to prepare as best as you can going towards the qualification. So that, but otherwise than that, I think that experience overall was good. Yeah, so that's what I'm just thinking about. Just the main thing for me, just staying healthy and being healthy. And I think that once in a healthy also, that'd be very dangerous also in the ring.
Okay, well, I'll ask Nigel again, seeing that he is the elder statesman, he's the elder statesman among you all here. Nigel, we seem to be going to these tournaments, winning one bout or winning no bouts, just going to these bouts and coming back home and that's it. Or in the case of Allicocck more often than the others, or even Ryan too, you win one bout and then we can't seem to cross the hurdle to win another bout. What do you think contributes to that situation for Caribbean fighters?
For me, I think what I've heard from a lot of people is the amount of competition that we have in the Caribbean, and
But you all travel almost every week?
That's what I'm saying. I wanna disagree. That's in recent times. In recent times, we have opportunities now where the teams fly out more frequently. We get to go to more camps in recent times. But in times gone before, it was attributed to the level of competition on a regular basis. For me, I would say in my personal career, I think is the ability to recover from the bout gone before, because it's boxing. We literally fight it. And if you can't recover from your last fight quick enough, obviously you wouldn't be at 100% moving forward. A lot of countries adopt the method to win the fight as easily as they can. And not everybody has that style, has that flair, has that finesse. Me, for one, me and you go back and forth a lot with my speed. I don't have the speed to win my fight as easily as you think I should.
Yes.
So obviously I will get, a touch here and there, I'll headbutt, you wrestle sometime in the ring. And if we can't, in my opinion, recover fast enough, moving forward in tournament, we might win the first one, and then the second fight will be even more hard, and then the third, and then the fourth. So in my opinion, we need to figure out how can our Caribbean athletes recover fast enough moving forward. If we can't win the fight easier, I think it's an issue of being ready in a daytime or sometime the next day to compete. I mean, it's an aspect that we also need to pay attention to, because everybody wants to win the fight easy, but sometimes the fight isn't always easy. It's recovery. And for me, I mean, dealing with what I have been dealing with in the past, I talk more like injury. For me, my shoulder in the last 2-3 years, I have to, as immediately after the fight, ice. If not get a bag of ice in the ring, you understand? Seek some kind of therapy, physiotherapist, come and check it out one time. So for me, I think recovery plays a big part, especially for the fighters who don't make it as easy as yourself would like it.
Yes, I kind of... Alston, I'll go to you next with the same question that Nigel just tapped upon there. We win one bout, or sometimes we lose from the first bout. What do you think contributes?
I don't know if you can hear me, but you're breaking up real bad. I can't hear what you're saying. If you can hear me, I can't hear what you're saying. You're breaking up.
All right, okay. Let me try again.
Hello?
You hearing me now, Alston?
Yes.
Right, okay, good. And I'm hearing you. So we're back on. The same question I asked Nigel earlier. When we go to these championships, we usually win one bout sometimes, or we go back home winning nothing. We go back home empty-handed. You and Allicock have been fortunate in that a lot of the games you go to, especially in the Americas, you guys seem to be one or two or one and done or whatever it is. What do you contribute this to when it comes to the fact that we can't seem to go over that hump?
Yeah, that could be caused by multitude of things. I would say mainly due to inactivity, because the championships and the tournaments that we compete in is too far apart in terms of, for example, the Pan American Games I competed in was last October. And then my next competition was 7 months later at Thailand. There's 7 months in between, that's too long. It's no, so you just train, sport, train, no competition. They jump from one big tournament to the next big tournament, to the next big tournament. So in between those, we don't have no longer tournaments or bouts to keep you active. So I would say that I would say that comes down to inactivity mostly, in my opinion.
All right. What about you, Kevin? What do you attribute that to? On your mic.
Sorry. Yeah. For me, sometimes I win 2 fights, sometimes I only win 1. To bounce that hurdle is kind of hard, and there's a lot of things I can say about that. I mean, I respect all judges and referee, but sometimes I feel like those decisions don't go in favor of me, even when I win the bout. Knowingly, and not just because I'm the fighter I'm saying this, but because of the crowd, that the support of the crowd, the way that I'm fighting, etc. But for me, it's not a lack of tournament. I'm getting a lot of sparring. Like that is one of the things that is keeping me active. To get a lot of sparring means a lot. So I'm getting that in and out, and I think it's just a little bit more. I think having a therapy there would help me. I mean, that's for me, because sometimes we don't get a chance to travel with the therapy. So that is important for me to recover fast. That's one of the main problems for me, is to recover fast after an intense fight. Sometimes I go in the ring and my muscle is so tight. You understand? And I think that played a big part. Just for me, it's just the recover and go again. Okay. Because I can stand and face any fighter. I don't care who it is.
Well, that's similar to what Nigel said. That's similar to what Nigel said. But I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I don't know if you guys have realized, but even from Pan Am to the first qualifier to this second qualifier in Thailand, I don't know if you guys have realized that boxing has changed. That boxing has now changed. If you look at the majority of bouts that we had in Thailand, the style or the winning ways have changed. So I'll put you guys on the spot now. I'll put you guys on the spot. With all those changes taking place, and now we see a system coming through where it's mainly, it seems, the Cuban style. To me, I saw that. Where do you think our coaches fit in? So, or do you think that they have been able to change along with the advent of this new style of boxing, the way people win? Even the guy who beat you, Allicock, or the guy who beat you, ALSTON, it was not overwhelming victories, but they just outpointed you guys. Let me hear Nigel first, because Nigel, you would have gone into your bouts and so on. Probably some of them you're going in as a favorite. Tell me if you think our coaches have adapted to this new style of winning. I don't want to say boxing, of winning.
That's a ticklish.
I know it's a ticklish one, subject. But that's why we have television, to put you guys on the spot.
So for me, I would say yes and no. Reason being, the coaches have to understand the boxers. So in terms of you coaching a Nigel Paul or Aaron Prince, I'll just use the Trinidad boxers, or Jeremiah Thomas, or even a Tiana guy, it must have variation and understand the capability of the boxers. So now you can't expect me to do what Prince would do in the ring. So you have to figure out a way to get Nigel Paul to win, but as you say, the new style of boxing. And I would think the reason why I say yes or no, because me as the athlete, I have to buy in to what the coaches is teaching, or the administration or the coaching staff is offering me. And sometimes the stubbornness of the boxers, we go back to what we are accustomed doing. So sometimes, for me, in my case, I remember fighting a Cuban in the CAC game, and I won the first round, and the second round I lost, and the third round I lost. Some people say it was probably your fitness or this and that, but for me, I chalk it up to I stopped doing what the coaches told me to do. So I believe we have capable coaches. I believe that the coaches can adapt or even learn or come up to the times. But it has to go hand in hand with the athlete and the comprehension level of the athlete to stay consistent or stay the course, so to speak, in the ring or in the bout.
Well said. Well said without implicating any of the coaches.
Yeah.
Well said. Real democracy. You should be a politician. Allicock, what about you? Do you think that the Caribbean coaches have adjusted to the system of coaching that we are now seeing worldwide, especially in these qualifiers?
Sorry, Nigel Paul said. I have a Cuban coach, for instance. You know, he's been working with me. I've been developing, over the years that he's been training me. I've been to Cuba a few times training with him, and I've been in the heart of where the Cubans live. And for me, my style didn't change. Just a little bit things I made some adjustment to. But like when the Cubans use their style to fight me, I use my condition, the tactics of moving and attacking these fighters, because if I can't fight the style that they're fighting, there is something that I can use to beat them, which is my condition, which is my strength. You understand? And that's what we apply. So he doesn't change me to fight the way that they are fighting. You understand? He used a lot of combination that they are using. I already have my movements as a boxer, but to change me up to fight like a Cuban or fight the way the Cubans are fighting in these tournaments, we never did that. So, like I said, this is what we use. This is the method that we use. If you're fighting against a fighter like this, then this is what you have to use. If you try this and it's not working, if it's working, then you'd go again. If not, then you use your style. You use your strength. You use what you know. You understand? Because you're not getting through fighting the same style as the guy is. So, for me, I think, working with the Cuban coach, he's from there. He knows a lot of styles. He knows a lot of tactics and strategy. And, I've been applying that to my fighting. And most times I have to switch up sometimes. So there's a lot of things that the coaches, I think, needs to learn too. And we can't take that away, because as they grow, they learn. So that's how they impart the knowledge within the boxer too. So there's a lot of room for improvements for the coaches and also the boxer.
Well, it's a good thing you told me that. I always thought your coach in Guyana was the one who has migrated now. I always thought that was your coach.
Mr. Blake?
Yes, Mr. Blake. So I didn't know Seabird was Cuban, you know what I mean? So I never knew Seabird was a Cuban. But anyway, I have seen you guys. Right, I have seen you guys in action, and I have been impressed with some of the things that you guys would have done, but it doesn't seem to get us over the edge. We have 30 seconds to the break. When we come back, I'll hear your take, because you are one of the best coaches in the world for me. And I'll hear your take on that. And also, just to remind you that we are on NCBN television and you're viewing TICKBOX ONE. Let's continue to tick some boxes. See you guys at the break, after the break.
Trinbago Heritage, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on NCBNTT Television Network.
Hi, I am Nigel. Quote Me Today is your daily motivational segment to start your day right. Join me Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. right here on NCBN. Remember, wake up with a smile. Today is your day.
strain. That's why when we festing, we just bed tight when we jamming, we just jam down when we drinking, man it's strong rum, eh. Pop a bottle right now when we festing, we just bed tight when we jamming, we just jam down when we drinking, man it's strong rum, eh. Pop a bottle, push up your
Welcome back, viewers, and you're viewing TICKBOX ONE on NCBN television, Trinidad and Tobago. Before the break, we were speaking about the adjustment of Caribbean coaches in boxing. And Alston, you were the one left with making your comments, and you were the one with, to me, perhaps the best coach amongst the lot. You have a two-time world champion, like I mentioned before, in your corner, Maurice Hope, one of the greatest ever. Do you think that the coaches in the Caribbean, because you have been here in the Caribbean, do you think that they have adjusted to world boxing?
Put me right on the spot with you, boy. Well, I can't really speak for the whole Caribbean and their coaching because I've never really been coached by them. So I can only talk about my coach. And earlier, a lot of people actually think that Mr. Hope is the coach is my coach. Is actually not. He's the coach of he's one of Antigua's coaches and also coached the heavyweight. Not really me. My coach is John Ryan. Just to correct you on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. I've been getting that for a while now. This is the first time I ever really correct them. But yeah, to answer your question, I would say yes and no. Because usually when an athlete or boxer loses the bout, it's really ever the coach's fault. So I would say yes, they adjusted, and yes, so yes, it's a very tricky situation. Put on the spot, Mr. Beckles. But I would say, I think it has to be more about the relationship between the athlete and the boxers. I think the two styles must be married, otherwise they won't really get good results. And as of, I do think that we at the Caribbean level do adjust, even though we're doing it very slowly, but surely it's coming. And I do think that, we adjusted, and we just need to keep on focusing more and just broaden our horizon in terms of coaching. And as in my coach, he adjusted, and he'll be the first to tell you that he don't know everything or he's weak in this area, and then he'll be the first one to then seek an assistant to then bring me up to par with what he's deemed that he's lacking in or what I should be doing. So that's why one thing I really like about him, he'll be the first to tell you, hey, look, you already know that part there. I'm eager to learn. I'm weak in that department, but I'll bring in an assistant to help. Because he always say about he want the best for the boxers. Even if exclude himself as the coach, even he have to step away and let someone with more expertise or someone. So that's I'll say that. Yeah, we are really adjusting.
All right, that's wonderful. I'll recommend the three of you guys to political office next time I get the chance. It's obvious. It's obvious. One of the things that struck me, and Kevin, you mentioned it in one of your answers, was the fact that, in my opinion, some of the boxers do quite well, in fact. Technically, they're technically sound, like Allicock, for example. I still think that after Michael Alexander retired, you are carrying the Caribbean flag, believe it or not. However, in a lot of the bouts I see of Caribbean boxers, sometimes it's not the technical ability, but I think it's some of the tactics that are being used even after one round, or that we do not adjust quick enough to suit the boxers that we are boxing. Do you all think that in some of your bouts, a change of tactics somewhere during the round or during the bout itself would have caused you to win some of those bouts that you were in? Even let me hear you first. You're the pro.
100%. I agree with that 100% because, as you said, and now I'm reflecting on the way that I fought, and I think if in some of my fights, my past fights, if I did change the tactics, which I know that I have the ability to, you understand, I think I would have done quite well and win those bouts, hands down. So it makes a lot of sense. What are you saying? What you're saying is actually true.
What would you, Alston?
I think we need to look at.
Yes. Let's change the tactics with, yes, that would have basically helped you to win the fight, because sometimes you come out and start one way, and that give you the round down, and then the coach or the camera and then tell you to change. But if you don't listen and don't change and go back in the same way, which usually happens, or it's either the corner man tell you what to change and you didn't, or they didn't tell you. So yes, I think tactically that could really be helpful.
Okay, what about you, Nigel? You think that would have made a difference in some of your past bouts?
Yes, definitely. What you're saying is actually true, but my take on it is the trust and the obedience of the boxer, because as long as you're a boxing fan, or you're a coach, or you invest some level of time into the sport, studying your opponents, especially at the coaching level, you will be able to identify cracks and some flaws, and obviously you'll be able to tell your boxer, move to the left, touch the body, move around, whatever the case is, but it all comes down to the execution of the boxer. And I believe once you're a high-performing athlete, you get a point or a place where you could actually make some waves on the international stage, most boxers could adjust and adapt. But I can speak for me first, just hardened. You're just disobedient. Your coach is telling you to do something, and you're not. I make a lot of my easy fights hard. People like yourself come and pull me square and say, Paul, you make that fight too hard. And it just comes down to the mental state at that point in time for the athlete. Because we've seen where certain athletes made the adjustments and look good. You start to do all kind of flary, all kind of thing you start to try because you're confident high. When you made the adjustment, and then sometime when you just do make that adjustment, you're running for your life. You're bowing down your head, you're blocking, you're grabbing, you're holding, you're looking tired when you're not tired. So, yeah. So it's basically for me the ability to really adhere to what the corner say. We have to look at that aspect in the athlete, how fast or how capable we are to listen in the bout, in my opinion.
Okay, wonderful. Again, look at me playing Bar and Carnival, the real mixing, but that's good. Moving forward, gentlemen, the Olympic qualification is over. We didn't make it as athletes. What's next for ALSTON Ryan?
Well, currently we're still thinking about it with me and the team to see exactly how it is going forward. But for now, we will just stay training and just stay try to be healthy. Once you just stay healthy, that's the main objective, and then we make a decision to see what we're gonna do.
Okay. Allicock, especially with all this money playing around with IBA boxing and so on, where the first prize at World Championships is $300,000 and so on. What's the next step moving forward, Keevin?
I mean, I'm here, I'm young. I'm just 25 years of age. A couple of days I turned 25. a couple of days ago. So
happy birthday, happy birthday in advance.
Happy belated.
It's belated.
I still got that fire in me. And I don't want to take that for granted. Said, hey, I'm young, I still got a lot of energy. Every day is a new day, and you're getting older as the day goes by. So for me, I still got a little professional going on, and so still want to stay active in the amateur realm. So I'm gonna hang in there and see what it brings. Any tournament comes, I'll jump on ship and I'll sail out, and try to learn as much as I can. So when I'm ready to do the transformation, stay full in the professional world, I think I'm gonna be ready for that even more.
Okay, Nigel, what about you?
For me, in terms of the athlete side of it, competing wise, kind of coming to the end of my amateur career. Unlike these guys here, I am turning 35 in a couple of days. So I am considering life after boxing. So heavily involved in giving back and being still active in sport, but on the other side of the ropes, involved with the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee. I've been selected to be on the Athletes Commission board. I doing a lot of work with the Ministry of Sports and Culture and Sport Company in the I Choose Sports, where we go to different schools and encourage the younger ones to choose sports and what have you. We have a lot of school projects and programs being launched by Trinidad and Tobago Boxing Association. I've even been named the Public Relations Officer in the Trinidad and Tobago Boxing Association. So in terms of me outside of the ring, still active in sport, but more on the administrative side, trying to give back as much as I can, make myself available for the sport. But in terms of Nigel, the athlete, we have our eyes set on the next World Championship. I have enough time to go through the full rehabilitation process, throw off the excess weight that has been packed on over a couple of months due to injuries. So I really want to make again a big statement at the next World Championships. The last one I medaled at, I didn't get to go to the Olympics, and I had all my energy and focus on the World Championships. So it's basically like a repeat. So I hope to repeat that and probably take it one step further, a step higher on the podium. So that's Nigel Paul's plan moving forward.
Well, that's a lot of plans, and it seems as though you have a lot on your plate already. Before we wrap up, gentlemen, you all are role models for young boxers, young children, the youth in your respective countries. Your name is synonymous with sport. Allicock, you are not just synonymous with sport, you are synonymous with commercial enterprise also. And way beyond that, what advice would you give to the youth of Guyana and the Caribbean as a young boxer and as a role model?
I think this is one for life, not just the sport of boxing or not just sports in general, For me, seeking God, that's my key thing. That's the number one thing. Always seek God first. Remain humble and disciplined, and God will exalt you. Be respectful. There is no limits, because God brought me from a place where I had nothing. No one knew who Allicock was. I'm here talking to Mr. Beckles and some of my colleagues from around the Caribbean. I never dream about these moments. All the moments are winning moments for me, whether it's small or big, because God is ordering this moment that we can all sit here and talk. So life is important for me. So I want them to know to put God first in anything that you do. And I'm not just saying this because a lot of people said it too. I'm saying that have a relationship with Him. Trust Him with your life, and He will make the right step. He will help you to make the right step, and to do the right thing. And even when you feel like you're struggling and you have mental issue, there's someone that you can talk to. That person for me is God. He knows you before He even placed you into your mother's womb. So seek help if you need it. The Bible said use wisdom, but most importantly, put God first, trust in Him, and keep working hard. Consistently. It only takes hours and hours of pounding on your craft to become a master at it. And there is no such thing for me in my book as to lose it. It's life lessons. It's the way that God wants to teach you so that you can become a better version of yourself. So, trust in Him and do good, and it will follow you.
Wonderful. Seems as though we have two pastors in here on this show, Pastor Allycock and Pastor Paul. Alston, what about you? You have a different scenario in that you are perhaps a hero to people in Antigua because I hear them speak about you so much, and probably even in London. So, in short, what would you tell youth to inspire them?
Whether in London, Antigua, again, or wherever in the world, like whatever sport you do, anything you do in life, just be your best foot forward, work hard, and stay disciplined. Whether it's sports or academics, anything you do in life, I just think you should just have to stick forwardness and just work hard and stick towards it. Maintain discipline, because Rome was a building, they just stick towards it, and you will succeed one day.
Wonderful.
That's my message to them.
Wonderful. Nigel, what about you?
Trying to make it as short
as possible. Yes.
Like Keevin said, put God first. That's the most important. He'll give you direction, open doors for you, and give you a favor. And the athlete life isn't an easy life. I don't lie to anybody. I don't try to make it look like it's so easy. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But with dedication and commitment, you could reach as far as you want. So just stay dedicated, stay committed, put God first, and anything is possible.
Thank you, gentlemen. You've been listening to TICKBOX ONE on NCBNTT. Join us every Friday evening at 8 p.m. for TICKBOX ONE on NCBN television. I'd like to thank our guest, Mr. Nigel Paul, Olympian Trinidad and Tobago. ALSTON Ryan, Olympian from Antigua and Barbuda, who also speaks English. And Keevin Allycock, from the land of many rivers in Guyana, one of the persons that Guyanese are so proud of today. And gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here and being on TICKBOX ONE. I hope to see you guys very soon again. And whether it's this phase of your life or another, I know that you guys have a lot to contribute to Caribbean boxing and to Caribbean life in general. Look for us at NCBNTT on Facebook and YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to tick boxes.